He paid 3 billion won. They came for his sister anyway. He stared at the number, and for one breathless moment, the world went silent. This was more money than his family had seen in their entire lives combined. More than enough to change everything, but a lifetime of poverty doesn't disappear in an instant. Old instincts kicked in. Don't get your hopes up. Don't let yourself want it. Not yet. But deep down, he had always wanted it. As a child, his dreams were never grand. He didn't dream of luxury yachts or penthouses. He dreamed of a house that didn't leak when it rained, of taking a bus when his legs were tired, of eating a full meal, not splitting one burger 3 ways, but a real, complete meal like everyone else. He had carried this dream every single step of the way, every painful, grinding, humiliating step, not for himself, for the people he loved, so that one day, just one day, they would never have to feel small again, never have to bow their heads in shame, because of something as brutal and senseless as being born without money. Not him, not his grandmother, not his sister. He had sold everything. His character and world of magic, years of grinding and late nights, pouring himself into a virtual world while the real one fell apart around him. He had built something valuable without even realizing it. And when he finally sold it, 3,090,000 won appeared in his account. He sat beside his grandmother in the quiet of her private room, the hospital he had personally chosen for her, the best care he could find. She looked better already. "Grandma," he said softly, opening the bank book. Her eyes moved to the number on the page, 3,090,000 won. "Your treatment is covered. Hye-yun's future is covered. Everything is finally covered." For one brief, beautiful moment, everything felt possible. Then the door opened. No knock, no warning. Just the sound of expensive shoes on hospital tile and slow, deliberate clapping. The grandmother looked up from her bed at the strangers filling her doorway. "Who are you?" The warmth in the room evaporated. And Hyun turned around, already knowing the answer. And then the clapping, slow, mocking, cutting through the silence like a blade. He didn't need to turn around. He already knew that voice, that suit, that sneer. "Hey, Hyun, it's been a while. You remember me, right? Some debts, it seemed, weren't paid in one." His eyes burned, not with sadness, not with despair, with something older, something that had been building since he was a small child, cowering in a dark room. They came here, to this place, to his grandmother's bedside, to destroy the one moment he had spent years fighting to reach. These people had absolutely no idea what they had just awakened. Because this is where it all began, shadows filling a broken doorway. His grandmother huddled on the floor, shielding his baby sister in her arms, the debt collector's boots, scraping on cracked tile, a child running through dark alleys at night, chased by grown men demanding money he didn't have. His name scrawled on the door for the whole world to see. To be poor is not a sin, but to be in debt is to be utterly alone. This is what made him. This is why he will never stop fighting. No friends, no rest. Everywhere he went, the word followed him, spray painted on school gates, whispered in hallways, written across his name, like a brand he could never wash off, a debtor. That's what he was to the world, not a student, not a person, just a number, on someone else's ledger, back in the present, back in the hospital room, with his grandmother behind him, and everything he had earned in his hands. Hyun was finally done running. "Why are you here?" 4 words, spoken quietly, but every syllable loaded with a lifetime of surviving what these people had put him through. "Fine," he said. His jaw was set, his eyes were stone. "I'll pay it all off right now. How much?" And then the villain said the number. 3 billion won. No way. Hyun's voice cracked. Dad only borrowed 100 million. The villain tilted his head. Hey now, it's been 8 years. A slow, satisfied smile. You know there's a thing called interest. 100 million won. Borrowed once, compounded at 50% per year for 8 years. The math didn't lie. The trap was perfectly, legally airtight. He reached for his phone. It was the only weapon available. Don't try to pull that on me. I'll call the cops. The words felt powerful in his mouth for exactly 1 second. Then the villain laughed, teeth showing, eyes glinting behind orange glass. Well then, do it. You think the cops are going to take your side? And Hyun had no answer, because deep down, he already knew. And then, the room shifted, a different voice, deeper, slower, completely without emotion. Enough. Calm down. Just explain the situation to the kid. The villain, who had laughed and sneered through everything, bowed his head immediately. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. The boss sat there in his black suit, as if he owned the air in the room. He was scarier because he wasn't angry. He was scarier because he didn't need to be. He produced a contract. 50% yearly interest. Operation fees, compounding clauses, every page, precisely calculated. If you can't believe me, look for yourself. He read the numbers, every line, every clause. If only they hadn't missed the inheritance abandonment deadline. They could have walked away, declared bankruptcy, started over, but they missed it. And now, it was too late. I already know about your auction, the villain said softly. Now that you understand the situation, cough up the money, and if I refuse... The villain stepped in close. No anger, no rush, just the quiet certainty of a man who has done this 1,000 times. We do this for a living. If you don't pay today, we'll be here again tomorrow, and every day that goes by is another day. The interest grows. And then, those words, slow, casual, almost friendly. Oh, by the way, you have a sister, don't you? The world stopped. Surely you understand. Not everything we do is so legal. Something broke inside Hyun, a cord that had been stretched past its limit for years. He had survived everything these people had thrown at him. But his sister was different. His sister was the line. And at that exact moment, as if the universe had written this scene itself, the door burst open. Hye-yun, breathless, rushing in. She had no idea what she had just walked into. Hi, Hyun! Too late. She ran straight into the wall of black suits. The villain didn't even flinch. He just smiled. And then the villain did the one thing that made every wall inside Hyun collapse. He turned to Hye-yun. He looked at her the way a predator looks at something. It has already decided to take. You've blossomed into such a pretty little flower. You'd be really popular at one of our islands. Hyun's fist clenched, every muscle in his body locked. Top quality. The villain continued, not even looking at Hyun anymore. I almost wouldn't want to let you go. Don't you think so? Hyun? He had run out of moves, out of options, out of everything, except his love for his family. And they had always known it. Fine. The word came out, like a dam finally breaking. I'll give you the money, every single one. Let's settle this, once and for all. His voice trembled, but his eyes were ice. But if you ever come near my family again, it'll be a very different story. The villain smiled his widest smile. Of course. They completed the transfer, a bank book, a briefcase, a promissory note. Even 9,001 returned as change, performed with theatrical precision. When we do business right. And then, the final knife. They know exactly how much I made. The villain chuckled. You'd be amazed what we can find online these days. Privacy no longer exists. They had been watching him since the first bid. They were always going to come, for every single one of it. The transaction was complete. The villain turned to the boss and bowed. "We're done here, sir." The boss sat without reaction, without triumph, without any expression at all. For him, this had been just another job, another family, crushed beneath a spreadsheet. They began to leave. And then, one word: wait. They turned. Hyun stood there, worn white sneakers on hospital tile, no money left, no leverage left, nothing left at all. "I have something to say." The villain tilted his head with a condescending smile. "What is it, kid?" And whatever Hyun said next, would not be something they were ready for. To be continued. Follow for more.